What's up, guys? Welcome to C3-T, Carolina Collectors Connection Podcast. We want to welcome you back. We got some cool things to talk about this evening, and we got a cool cast. We got Mr. ZacJacDan with us tonight. We got Mr. ZacJacDan.
Yo.
We got Mr. Wally. So we want to talk to you tonight about a couple different topics. So I'll run through kind of what our topics are, and we'll get into those a little bit later. But our first topic of discussion, we're going to talk about, we're going to each give our favorite YouTubers that we enjoy watching that's part of the hobby as well. Some of these are bigger channels. Some of them are not quite as big. We're also going to talk about pre-order versus toy hunt. So that's been a big topic in my life lately as I've been doing a whole lot of toy hunting myself. Zach's kicked in on the toy hunts as well. So we're going to talk about what's the pros and cons of each. And lastly, we're going to talk about the upcoming Phase 4 MCU. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll talk about our expectations there, what's going to be dropping over the next couple of years, and kind of give our thoughts on those. So to start off tonight, we're going to start off with kind of our little segment where we talk about what we've picked up and what we're reading. So Zach, you got anything for us today?
As far as reading, I haven't really been doing much of that lately. I've been trying to get a lot of reviews in. Thanks to you, you've picked up a lot of stuff for me. So I did get the entire Spider-Man Retro Wave. So I have all of those figures. I've reviewed every single one of those. I got a few figures from the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure Wave to the Death Wave. So reviewed 4 of those. And so those are up on my channel as well. It's pretty solid. And that's all I've reviewed at the moment. I have a few other things. Some McFarlane figures. I know you just picked up some of these for me. So those are pretty nice. And got some other.
Looking forward to your reviews on those.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up reviewing the G.I. Joe Wave first, and then I'll get into some of the McFarlane stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Lots of stuff, though.
So, yeah, I'm holding up the G.I. Joes, and these are exciting. Phil did find these for us. Did you find this at the local, or where'd you find this one at?
I found those at our local Walmart. Yep.
Which is very shocking because we don't hardly have anything at that Walmart. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about these Joes. So we'll see what they look like for us. And this has always kind of been a dream to get these in 6-inch instead of the 3 3/4. When I first started collecting, I was collecting some of the 3 3/4 Joes, and I was like, these just don't display right for me, just in my opinion. And so I kind of got rid of all those and just went with the Master of the Universe stuff. And then we rolled into DC and Marvel Legends. But I've been reading the new X-Men stuff after the House of X, Dawn of X, or House of X, Powers of X, which kind of rolls into Dawn of X, which is all the new titles. So that's what I've been reading.
Cool. I didn't realize they did Scarlet in that Joe set. That's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she looks good.
Those are some nice figures, man. You know, I've reviewed a couple of them, the Destro and the Black, and the Snake Eyes. And, man, the quality is phenomenal. It really is. I was actually watching an Anthony Customs video yesterday, and he was also talking about how much better the quality of the G.I. Joe series is versus Marvel Legends, which is, you would think being the same company, we would get this similar quality. They would feel like the same type of figure, but they definitely do not. It's a different world with those G.I. Joe figures. Wally, what you got, man?
Oh, man. As far as books, I've been reading Bitterroot, Sanford Green, Chuck Brown, and David Walker. Rico worked on, I think, Rico Renzi worked on the first 6 issues or so. But I decided to pick up the trade because I didn't have the trade. They're all, I don't know David Walker, but the rest of them I know they're friends and inspiration for the industry. So it was cool to support their book, creator-owned project. Excellence by Kari Randolph, who's another dope artist, and Brandon Thomas. Haven't read it yet, but I've heard good things about it. Not normally into wizard type stuff, but it seems to be a different take on that whole world of wizardry. Is that a word? So I decided to pick that up, and I also grabbed. I don't know where it's at, but Sean Gordon Murphy's the most recent White Knight work he's been putting out. I went on to grab those so I could try and get caught up on that as well. No figures in hand. I don't think. I'm probably forgetting something somewhere in this chaos. But yeah, that's what I got right now.
The Bitter Root. Have you read any of that yet?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, I like it. I think it's a different take. There's a lot of social commentary in it without overtly preaching to anybody. Like, it's a good way of talking about things without bashing anybody on either side of the issues they deal with in it. And it's a creative way of dealing with it without it just being directly saying certain things. And if you don't really realize it, you just kind of get caught up in the story itself, according on what you know about it in advance,
Sure.
But I may be a little biased as well, knowing Sanford and them. So of course I'm going to say it's a great book. Pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. Hey, I've been wanting to pick it up to read it, and I actually picked up a second print of the #1 because the first print of the #1's kind of been a hot book. It's kind of been up in the prices, and I noticed here that in October, the director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler,
he's an executive producer.
Yeah, they hired him to produce Bitter Root. So
yeah, they got optioned by Legendary Films, I think towards the end of the year last year. Okay. So that still going through the process of getting the detail, and then COVID hit. So
right.
We lost Wally.
I think we lost Wally there for a minute. We'll see if he comes back. If we don't, we'll shoot him an invite. But yeah, Bitter Root, that's a hot book. Right now, so. Okay, there you're back with us, Wally. We kind of lost you there for a minute.
Oh, I faded? Oh, yeah. They I think by the time they had did the second or third issue, they had got the option for the movie on the table. So that's pretty amazing for an indie project to get picked up. I mean, we've seen, like Kirkman do it, but Kirkman has a history of being able to do things like that. So it's kind of cool to see that with somebody from the Carolinas, especially.
But you also have to consider too, Kirkman didn't get picked up after issue 3 of Walking Dead.
No, that's true.
For them to get noticed that early, that's saying a whole lot. So, yeah, like I said, I wish those guys luck. I hope it's a huge success. I do want to pick up the same book you picked up there because I would like to read it and just kind of see what it's about. I'd love to have a first print of the #1, but we'll see. I might still pick one up. I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna reach out and see if I can. I'm not gonna say it's a guarantee, but I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of a issue at cover price from some people for you.
Hey, I like that. All right, cool. So for me, I'm gonna show. A lot of guys probably have been watching a lot of my toy hunts, but most recently I found these two guys in my local Walmart. So these were really hot items for me, and I guess for everybody. And I found them in my local Walmart. Review went up this morning, so if you haven't seen the review, check that review out. But these are great figures. I do believe. I hope people don't punch me too hard for this. I think I'm going to sell the Raphael. I just don't want 2 Raphaels, and I don't care that much about the trench coat. This was the guy I wanted right here. I wanted this Casey Jones. So, yeah, check the review out on that.
So you found them did you film the hunt, or you just happened to walk in and they were there?
Man, so if I don't turn my camera on and I walk into a Target or a Walmart, I find stuff. If I turn my camera on, toy hunt, there is nothing anywhere in sight. So every time I find Daniel and Zach something, I don't have my camera on. Every time I find something for me, I don't have my camera on. So, that's luck will have it, So, but we still got stuff. The Slash and the new Slash and Leatherhead cartoon 2-pack is starting to hit now. We still got the Casey Jones Foot Soldier 2-pack to hunt. We've got the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave. Rebel had 3 waves of that come in, and they were all sold with the exception of the Blue Suit Deadpool and Maverick. They had each of those at Rebel tonight. The whole rest of the other waves was sold. I'm like, why would somebody buy half the wave and leave 2 figures? But I don't know, whatever. So, but that's it. That's
Well,
my stuff.
before you get rid of that ref, we might should have a. Leo's the best, but we still might should have a talk,
I
Phil.
need to have a little talk. Hey, the great thing about this figure, and I covered in my review, this is an identical figure to the other figure. It has the accessories, it's got the size, it's got the extra, the extra hands, and you can take this jacket off. So if you didn't want the Raphael in disguise, you can just have literally the exact Raphael I have.
Right. Right.
And you'd have the disguise if you ever wanted to use it. But so I think probably a lot of people picking them up for that purpose. For guys like me that want to sell the Raphael, there's a lot of guys like you waiting in the wing saying, "Hey, I didn't get the first Raphael. I'll take it." So
right.
Definitely something to think about. We'll talk.
But no, Michelangelo's the best turtle.
Well, you know what? We'll probably cover this another time when we actually do turtle talk. But I've heard theories that Mike is literally the nicest in hand-to-hand combat. He just doesn't take it serious.
That wouldn't be bad. We almost could do just a turtle talk. That would not be a bad discussion topic.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, so let's jump on into our most anticipated toys that's coming out over the next 4 to 6 months. So, Daniel, let's go ahead and start off with you. We've got some pictures up already here.
Yep, so mine is definitely for Marvel Legends going to be this Old Man Hawkeye, Old Man Logan 2-pack with the baby Hulk there. I'm really interested in these X-Men Legends we're getting this year, 2020.
What's the release date on these guys? When are they expected out?
I'm pretty sure they're either October or November for these.
Okay.
I think so.
But the thing that Zach and I were talking about was with these, what we like to call anniversary type figures, because they did the 80th anniversary and they did the Marvel's MCU's first 10 years. And now this one's kind of considered the 20th anniversary of X-Men. They've jacked the prices up on them for us. So this 2-pack, instead of being $40, is $50.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of gouging us there with the prices for the new packaging here. That is so much. I don't know. I don't think the package is that much better for it to be worth $10 more. But
and they can put my figures in a cardboard box for all I care. Just send me the figures. Put them in a sandwich baggie and a mailer. I notice here it's October 2020 as a release date for these, and like Big Bad's $52.99. So interesting. I also noticed that Big Bad went up on pretty much every toy they had. Period. Like their Ultimates, their Super 7 Ultimates went from $179 to $199 for the 4. So they've upped all of their toy prices across the board. So
wow,
pretty interesting. That was kind of unexpected. But yeah, this 2-pack looks amazing. Which head sculpt you gonna pose with?
Well, definitely the one with the hat for Wolverine, because we already got the other Logan head on another body.
Yeah.
But I'll probably do the one with the glasses for the Hawkeye.
Okay.
I don't know. I sort of like the other one better.
Yeah, the pull back.
No, he likes the hair flying.
The flowy hair. Yeah. I think I'm with Zach. I like the flowy hair, man. That's a cool look.
I guess you had to read the storyline to enjoy the one where he's actually blind and with glasses, still shooting at bow and arrow.
Right. Which I've read a few. I'm probably, because I read it all on the Marvel Unlimited app. I might be 6 issues in to the Old Man Hawkeye storyline, maybe something like that. All right, so Mr. Zach, you're up next here.
All right, so we got the Super 7 Ultimate Thundercats. We have seen all these before from Mattel, but still some different things going on. I saw a review today from a guy named Toy Bro. I reviewed the Lion-O figure, and I'm pretty excited for these. I was a big fan of the show, and I just can't. I really just can't wait to see some Thundercats figures and get them in hand. I hope they're good. Whenever I was watching the review, some things sort of stuck out to me, like the fact that the Lion-O, maybe some of the other ones do as well, but they only have like single jointed elbows and knees, which to me seems a little cheap, and they could have done better. Besides that, I think it looks great. I just don't really like the $45 price point, but
Yeah, for 45, that does seem a little crazy with the joints
Yeah.
not having more articulation, but they do look good though from here.
Well, and the thing you got to know with that $45 price range is that they're very limited in production because only the people that got the pre-orders in are getting them. And so, like, I'm looking at the turtles on the on eBay already. They're already going for $150 each. So,
Yeah.
if you didn't
Wow.
get your pre-orders in, you're kind of going to be paying the scalper prices now.
Ooh,
Right.
Exactly.
ooh, and you know, I really believe, and I'm always hesitant to say this, especially with a line like the Thundercats, but I really believe the Thundercats and the TMNT line, I think they're going to be very hot items. I think they're going to be, you know, you're going to have to pay some pretty steep prices, I think, to get them after release. You know,
Probably.
Right.
I don't see them. I don't think you'll ever get this Lion-O for $45 again. You know,
Yep.
Right.
unless they re-release it or do whatever. But as far as this Lion-O, I don't think. Same thing goes for the TMNT line, the Baxter, the Raphael. You'll never get them for $45 again. But you know, look at the accessories this Lion-O comes with. Man, that's a lot of accessories if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, that's why it's ultimate, but it's,
True.
yeah. I mean, I'm really excited. You know, they do look great. I can't wait to see reviews of some of the other ones.
So we got looks like here on Mumra we got the soft goods and I guess a sculpted plastic
Mhm.
tape as well.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, I look at McFarlane; they're putting out 7-inch figures as well, just like these, and he's putting them out there for $20 each. I don't know. Are
Zach,
accessories worth that much? You know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree, but they do look real good in the molds. Zach, do you know if they're doing Mamra in his transform state?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they are.
They are.
I think it's wave 3, right?
Okay.
It's like a $60 or $65 figure. If I'm
Yeah, they call it a deluxe ultimate.
Yeah, because you come Mum Mutt. So
yeah, it comes with my mutt. Yeah, and he's like an inch taller, Wally, than the other figures. So he is a big figure.
Okay.
But you're also going to pay about $15, $20 more for him.
mhm.
So,
Okay.
all right, next up, Wally. Got some Dragon Ball Z here.
Yeah, you know, I know Phil is just starting to slowly transition into the anime world, which I'm glad to welcome him because he used to be so sick of it once upon a time.
That is true.
But I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, but more Dragon Ball Z, and I was always fascinated with Bardock, who was if you're familiar with the story, that was Goku's dad, and they've changed the canon of the story a little bit now, but in the original version, he was one of the planet that the Saiyans lived on was destroyed by a character called Frieza, and he was one of the ones who was leading, I guess, the forces to try and stop him from destroying the planet in the old canon. In the newer canon, he did that as well, but they made him more of a hero, like told a little more of his story, gave him a little more personality, because in the story, Saiyans are just pretty much brutes and warriors, and they're cold, and they don't really even interact with their kids. So they've changed a lot of that stuff now. But he was one of those characters that was mysterious, but always stood for like a symbol of fighting for something. So they're finally releasing something that's not a statue of him with Bandai, and I have a few of the other figure arts Dragon Ball pieces. And this was one that I just had to. I didn't even know it was coming out. So thankfully, because you reached out about a figure tonight, I was looking through Bandai and Big Bad and saw it and was like, oh, okay, pre-order time. So this is one that I had to grab, but it's not coming out until right now. They're saying next year, but we'll see how that goes.
He's spring. Is he spring of 2021?
Yeah.
So off. These figures right here, man. This is another line right here that if you're not careful, these will fetch a very high secondary market price. Is these Dragon Ball Z SH fig arts? Oh
yeah. I've seen some come out and shoot up to $300-$400 within a month of release, if not sooner than that.
That's true. Yeah, these are. It's a very niche line. You know, it's not as big as like a Marvel Legend line when it comes to how many they sell, but the people that want them, man, they'll pay, or you're gonna pay. You know,
right?
If you're late to the game. For me, my most anticipated is Wave 1 of the Super 7 Ultimate. So I'm kind of in line with Zach. We're really excited about our Super 7. Thundercats would have probably been my second one. So Zach hit my second one, but my first one is this Wave 1. It's the Splinter, the Raphael, the Foot Soldier, and the Baxter Stockman. And Toy Bro did good reviews on these as well. I don't know how he's getting them so fast. Maybe he's got something worked out.
Yeah, Super 7 actually sent him over to him.
Oh, they
Just-
did. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay. So that's pretty cool. Hey, good for him, man. I'm happy they did it because it gives us an opportunity to be able to see a early look at them. So, if you're not familiar with these, you get a ton of accessories. You literally get the weapon stand. That's kind of nostalgic from the original action figures that come out back in the late '80s. So very cool. One thing about this Baxter Stockman that I did pick up in Toy Bros video is the Mouser. How hot do you think those are going to be? You're going to have people buying extra Baxter Stockman just to get extra Mousers, and then they're going to sell the Baxter Stockman. They're only going to need one Baxter, but they're going to want 5 Mousers.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
I hope that it would be cool if maybe Super 7 has the ability down the line to give us like a 3-pack or a 5-pack of just Mousers.
Oh yeah, do it.
And they could charge us like $50 or $70 for them, and we'll pay it. So,
Well, most likely what they'll do is just give a giant Mouser with a bunch of little Mousers in it, maybe.
that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. So that was my most anticipated. Daniel, talk about some of the kind of exclusives that we got here.
So we had some store exclusives recently that all sold out within seconds of going up. For example, the G.I. Joe Target exclusive, the Walmart Toyhunt Razor. They went ahead and just ripped it off and said, well, you know what, we're just going to go and do your pre-orders on the NECA website itself, because they were just so sick of the bots and whatnot. Of course, you had the Metalhead that sold out within seconds too, I think. So, we got to figure out how in the world to get these things out to us if we're going to be trying to do these pre-orders like this.
Well, you got to respect NECA for what they did with the Token Razor. Daniel, I know you did a pre-order. That was the easiest pre-order I've ever done. I mean, it was so
easy, but a little steep on the shipping price for me. I mean, I had to question was I going to buy 1 or 2 because of the fact that I just wanted to save a little bit on the shipping. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's like it's still cheaper than buying it from like scalpers. So.
Oh yeah.
We'll pay $150 for that 2-pack if you pay the scalper.
Yeah.
Be $150.
What was the price tag on the 2-pack pre-order with shipping?
$92, I believe, total with the shipping.
Yep.
Okay.
I think they were $69.99, and it was like $22 shipping, something like that. So pretty steep. I don't know. I can't imagine NECA would try to make money on the shipping. That wouldn't make much sense to do us that way. But I ship a lot of stuff, eBay and Mercari, and I ship it a long ways in this country sometimes, and it's cheaper than that. So I don't know who they're using, or it doesn't sound like they really have any kind of a shipping deal. A lot of big companies, they get discounts, when they use UPS or they use FedEx, or I don't. It seems like to me maybe they could have maybe negotiated that a little better, but who knows? We're not toy makers, we're not business owners, so who knows what.
Has NECA ever directly shipped in the past before, or is this the first time they did something like this?
So they ship, their SDCC exclusives used to be through their website like this, and you can always go buy through NECA's website directly. So it's not new to them. Now, I mean, it's new to them for the Turtles line, the movie line, but I mean, they've, like the SDCC exclusive Ninja Turtles that came with the 4 turtles, the Shredder, the 2-foot. It was like 8 figures in a kind of a collector's tin back in 2017. I bought that one, and I wish I could remember what the shipping was, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that. It wasn't $22. Heck, it might have been free shipping. I can't remember. But yeah, the shipping. I've heard a lot of folks talk about the shipping, between Twitter and different online YouTuber guys. So yeah, the shipping I think kind of sticker shocked everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
But all right, well, cool guys. So that's our anticipated toys and toys to look out for if you're out and about hunting. Be looking for those in the coming months. So we'll move on into kind of our discussion topics of the night. So the first discussion topic that we want to talk about is who do we watch on YouTube? This may help somebody watching this video. You guys have brought up channels before that I didn't watch, and it's kind of steered me to those channels. And so maybe some of these guys, some of our viewers may not be aware of, and this will they can kind of go and check them out and see if it's something they would be interested in watching. But Daniel, we'll start off with you and your first channel. Let's see, actually, we're going to start off with me and my first channel. So my first channel is Jay Hernandez, and I don't know if you guys have watched Jay Hernandez, but this guy he has changed the review game. Every time I put a review up, I feel like I've done a really good job. Then I go watch a Jay Hernandez review, and I just want to throw my figure out in the backyard and stop making YouTube videos. This guy he's amazing. He's an excellent poser. Posing figures to me, it's almost like a talent to be able to pose a figure well. I suck at it. I'm not a good poser. He is a phenomenal poser. So that would be one channel I would highly recommend folks to look at. He does mostly 6-inch and 7-inch scale figures. It's kind of like like the Medicom Mafex Batman, the Hush Batman that just come out. He just posted a really good review on that. Lots of Marvel Legends, the G.I. Joe stuff. So that would be one. The second one is Jim Mint Collectibles. So I've been watching this guy for a long time. I think, man, when I first started watching him, I want to say he had maybe half the number of subscribers that he has now. I think he's pushing like 90,000 now. So he is more of like a statue, a high-end collectible statue reviewer, as well as omnibus and comic books as well. He actually kind of got me into omnibus. Really, I hadn't really gotten into omnibus, and I don't know, a year ago or so, whenever I started watching him and following him, he kind of got me into the omnibus game. And I figured out how fun it was to buy a book and you could read 50 comics at one time. So he's kind of cost me some money by following his channel and going and starting to buy omnibus, which I used to not do. But so he's a good guy. If you're into the statue world, this would certainly be one of the guys you would want to check out. And then the Fwoosh. We probably all watch the Fwoosh. This guy, he is entertaining. He's funny. His news videos are really my main thing that I like to go watch from him because he covers the news so well, and he really covers kind of a vast area of the news. He don't just focus on just Marvel Legends or just he just kind of anything kind of in that 1/12 scale area. He's pretty much covering it. So I like him for those, for that mainly. But he does tour reviews as well, and they're pretty good. He does pretty good tour reviews. But his news is really why I really enjoy him. And heck, I'm looking right now. He's up to 100,000 subscribers, so he has really grown. I'm pretty sure when I started following him, he had like 20,000 subscribers. So he has really grown, and good for him, man. I like the guy. I've never met any of these people, so just so anybody watching this knows, I don't know these people personally at all. But I like what they do on their channels, and I totally respect what they do on their channels. I think they're good channels for our community and our hobby. So that's my three. Moving into now, we will go to Daniel. If you want to talk about your three.
But yeah, I like to hear Rectangular's news. He always has the Marvel Legends news on anything that's about to come out. So anytime you want to hear anything about any kind of what do you call it?
Like
leaks in the market. Somehow Rectangular gets them, and he throws his videos out there. So that's my number one. I like to watch Ed's Retro Geek Out. Now, this guy's kind of quirky, got a kind of accent because he's Dutch or something like that. But he goes out there and he shows a bunch of the history of the toys, what's been missed, what was pulled back, what he loves the Turtles. He loves all kinds of the 80s, 90s nostalgic old toys. So I love to watch his stuff just kind of for that nostalgia aspect of it. And then I love Toy Shiz because if I want to find out any kind of pre-orders that are going up as fast as they are, Toy Shiz has the link for you. You can kind of keep an eye on him, and he'll throw you the links for any of the pre-orders that you need to go out there and get. So he's always on top of things.
I've used his links many times to order stuff, whether it be Amazon or whatever. He is on point with that. You're right. So next up, we got Zach. Zach, take it away.
All right. So first up, I got MCU Collector, and he's one of the guys that gets stuff super early. He tends to pay, honestly, probably scalper prices to get a lot of his figures, which doesn't bother him, but I'm sort of jealous of him. He's getting figures so early, but just a guy I go to see reviews first, and like you see on there, he just reviewed the Punisher, the Rider Series Punisher as well. So he's definitely on top of things.
Does he kind of? I'm not real familiar with this guy. Does he kind of stick with more like the 6-inch, 7-inch line? Is that where he's at mostly?
Yeah, it's mostly Marvel Legends.
I got you.
And then next I have Dan Hu. He's from the UK, so I tend to watch. He hasn't posted a whole lot lately, I don't feel like, but I definitely enjoy watching his reviews of different stuff. He has some of the NECA Team and T stuff recently, but he's another really good guy to watch. Still growing some, a little bit on the smaller side, but I always enjoy sort of getting a different perspective of someone outside of the U.S. and sort of how they're getting their figures, because sometimes he gets his figures early too, and just because of the fact that being in the UK, somehow they might tend to get certain things early, while in the US we get certain things earlier. So still another really good guy to watch.
One of the coolest things Dan Who does is the Who Are They section.
That's true.
That's
always
really cool little section. Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly, I've started watching this guy pretty recently. So his name's Iravira94, and I haven't heard of him until like probably the last month or so. And he's another guy like MCU Collector, getting things really early. I have no idea how he does it because he never actually responds back to anyone's comments on how he gets anything so early. But another guy I go to if I want to see an early review.
So this guy, when I first started following this guy, he had about 1,000 subscribers, and that was probably, I swear, I don't think that was much more than a year ago.
Probably not.
And you can see now where he is. I mean, he really does good reviews, and like you said, he gets stuff so early, and it's a total question mark as how in the world he does it, but he does it. Solid reviewer though. Cool. All right, guys. So for you guys following us, comment below who you guys like to watch. You may be able to introduce somebody to us that we are not familiar with, so we would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well.
So what you got, Wally?
Oh yeah, it's true. I forgot about what's Wally got on this one.
Yep, I'm still here. As far as for me, being an artist, I don't get to watch videos as much as I probably would. So with YouTube, I do a lot of music listening and things like that. But it's looking at debates and conversational pieces. I can just listen to things. But when I do get a chance to watch, as far as toys, Anthony's Customs is probably one that I watch off and on. Not because he jumps around to so many different types of toys, and also because he customizes. So sometimes his points about how toys are built is a little different from somebody else's. So I always like watching him. There's a guy named D Amazing that I watch from time to time, mainly because I love seeing his poses after the videos and everything. So I check out a lot of his stuff. And then I watch a lot of tech stuff. There's a channel called MKBHD, which is a very long name, but it's a huge tech channel, like 11 million subscribers or something like that. I watch that a lot just to learn about new tech that's coming out, whether it's phones, computers, tablets, whatever. Like they kind of touch on it's one guy mainly, but it's a whole crew at the same time. But he built it up. He touches on a lot of different things. So those are some of the main ones I do spend a little time with when it's not just music or voice driven content on YouTube.
If you want to see a guy who has literally MKBHD, if you go back and watch his first video, I swear he was like 7 years old. I mean, I don't know if he was 7, but he was
super young.
He was young, man, and he was just a little kid, and he has grown that into one of, if not the most powerful tech sector YouTube channels out there. I mean, it's flawless YouTube video making. You know,
right.
He is really good, and I think he's like a semi-pro. What do they call it with the frisbee? Ultimate
I know you're talking about.
Ultimate Frisbee. I think it's Ultimate Frisbee is what they call it. He's like a semi-pro player. So every now and then he'll post something, talking about him playing that, which is pretty cool as well.
Right.
The Amazing, you brought up The Amazing. He may be the best poser on YouTube as far as posing figures. I mean, he's in the middle of his reviews doing poses that I couldn't do if you gave me an hour and a figure. And he's like doing it in the middle of doing a review.
Right. So, yeah.
Solid, very solid channels there. But obviously we left out a lot of channels. There's a ton of channels that we probably watch that are very good channels. You definitely got the OGs like the Shartimus Primes and the Optobotomus, and we all probably should show our respect to those guys because they really paved the way for the guys like us to come through with our little channels and just enjoy the hobby, and they're the ones that have really been doing this since the beginning, and they're able to do it for a living, and that's really cool, and I'm thankful for them and what they've done for the hobby. But in saying that, just because we didn't say a channel doesn't mean it wasn't good. There's a ton of great channels. These are just some of the ones we wanted to bring up that are some of the first ones we probably go to when we're looking at toy reviews.
Indeed.
So moving in, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Indeed.
Yep.
If we left you out, we didn't mean it.
That's right. Because Zach, none of y'all three even mentioned my channel. So I
meant to say that I have to watch Zach and Phil's first. So
yeah. Nobody even. I kept waiting on one of y'all to like throw Maintain Collectibles out there, but
I had it on my list, but my pen had went over it somehow, and I thought I had already said it.
Yeah, you ran out of ink right before you got to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, so the next topic of discussion. This is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on, which I'm not going to share them all tonight because we don't want to be here till midnight. But pre-ordering a figure versus toy hunting a figure. What's your thoughts, Zach?
Well, I mean, I haven't really done that many toy hunts lately. I mean, I did that one. I made that one video on it. I've pre-ordered a lot of stuff. That's how I've been getting a lot from Dorkside Toys is where I've got a lot of my figures from. But I really do enjoy the toy hunting aspect of things. It's easier. I mean, depends. Like with pre-orders, it's better if you want to make sure you're getting the figure. If you want to make sure you're going to get the figure, pre-order it. But if it's more enjoyable to actually go out, enjoy the hunt, always sort of be surprised what you're going to get instead of just getting something in the mail you're already going to get. So that's how I sort of look at it. I think I probably might start pre-ordering everything and still going and doing toy hunts. And if I find something in the store, cancel my pre-order. Just so make sure I have it. I'm going to get it no matter what. But I still do love doing toy hunts no matter what.
What's thoughts, Daniel?
I'm with him. I started off collecting the Motu 2000X line back in 2002 with doing a toy hunt almost every single week out of my local Target and Walmarts. Built that entire collection up, had an amazing Master of the Universe collection back then before we rolled over into DC and Marvel. And, of course, back then I was doing a lot of toy hunts with DC and Marvel too, going to Rebel Base and finding things loose just to build up our collection like we did. So I would never, and you know me, Phil, I never bought anything in package back then. Everything I bought was loose. So
that's true.
So I love the hunt. I definitely love the hunt, but I like to have it to know I'm going to get it.
Wally?
Hey man, it's not as exciting for me because I don't collect the same as y'all, so it's just more however I get it, I get it. I never even really thought about the hunt aspect, even though I've probably done it, but I didn't think about it in that aspect when I was walking in the store. It was just like, oh, I wonder if they have this. So it's a little different for me. But watching Phil's man cave hunts lately has been exciting because I'm waiting to see the failure that he's gonna have he goes in and it's not there.
Man,
and I find
y'all
myself
could have saw
trying to
how
look.
depressed. If y'all could have saw how depressed I was at the end of some of those videos. Like, I don't cover that part of it, but man, I'm getting in the car. I'm just looking, I'm just like
Right,
this. Casey's
right.
like, come on, perk up now. We'll find them, She's trying to
I like
pep talk me,
I'm literally sitting here calculating how much time and effort Phil just spent to come home empty handed. But I can also see the joy when he finds something and it's like, oh, I found that. Like, even if it wasn't one that he was looking for, it's cool to see that joy when he finds something. Or like that Power Ranger figure that he left, and I'm sitting here screaming at the computer like, yo, why did Phil leave that? Like, that's one, and I'm remembering like, oh, this is pre-recorded, so me texting him now isn't really going to do much for the situation, but I'm going to text him anyway, and like, hey man, you should go back and check on that. So
that's all right.
but
I texted him while he was actually out there, Wally, and he still didn't bring my Pirate Deadpool home.
I was hoping y'all wouldn't bring that up.
Yeah, Phil, because you picked it up and you sat it to the side and you still didn't get it. That's crazy.
I still didn't get it, man. I still didn't get it. Well, you guys pretty much said everything, my thoughts on it. I love the toy hunt side of it. There's nothing more fun than you've been to 3 targets for the day and you're getting tired and you're about to give up and you walk in and there's that toy sitting there just waiting on you to pick it up and buy it, and the pre-order aspect of it has become a necessity really because of the scalper game. And I'm not going to lie, that has removed a little bit of the fun of it from me because I do enjoy that hunt so much. The hunt is almost as enjoyable as just getting the figure in general. It's probably more fun than just getting the figure in general. And even though I go on those hunts and yeah, you come up short a lot, there's still a lot of fun in the hunt, And when something's just delivered to your door, there's no fun in that. The fun in what's being delivered to my door now really is getting to do a YouTube review, getting to talk to my subscribers about it and getting to interact with the community. That's the fun side of it, but I just love finding something in the store. When I found these guys yesterday in the store, I look like a 10-year-old at Christmas,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was taking pictures, sent them to Daniel and Zach to see if they wanted. There was 2 of them there. I wanted to see if they wanted one of them. I was sending pictures to my wife. I was like a kid at Christmas, and I don't get that same feeling when I get a big bad toy store box on my doorstep. It's just not that same feel. It's like, oh, okay, there's a box of figures. Let me put them over here and I'll try to review them this week. It's just the excitement's not there. But you can't rely on the toy hunt anymore, or you're going to pay 2 or 3 times more for the figure than you would if you just pre-order it and get it that way. For instance, y'all saw I missed like a dummy. I missed on Prince Adam with the MOTU origin stuff. There was 2 of them. I didn't buy it, and I'm like, well, heck, I kind of would like to have Prince Adam. What is it, Battle Ram or whatever that thing is he's got?
The Sky Sled.
Yeah, the Sky Sled. And I go and I pull it up on Macari, and they're going for $80 or $90. It's a $29.99 figure I just passed on, and they're steady going for $80 or $90 a piece. So you got to pre-order everything. You got to pre-order those, and heck, you try to pre-order those, and they're literally, if you don't get them in the first 30 seconds, you don't even get the pre-order. So then you're really screwed, because you can't pre-order them, and that's NECA's ran into that problem with pretty much all their NECA stuff.
And so that kind of rolls me into the fact that we got to stop these toys or these store exclusives, I guess, because like when you do the pre-orders at the fan channel exclusives, there's plenty of them to go around.
Right.
But even though as big as Target and Walmart and Walgreens are, they're selling out so fast.
It is. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
was gonna ask, do y'all think that the problem is the toy industry in some ways with certain figures doing the same thing that the shoe industry is doing, where they're intentionally limiting things to make the frenzy greater?
That's a big topic on Twitter, man. I've seen a lot of people tweet that exact thing and tag some of these companies like NECA and accusing them. Now, I'm not accusing those companies of doing that, but at the same time, it's like, is it a hype builder? You know, if we keep the hype high, then the future of the line continues to sell. You know,
Right.
if they come out with that first wave of turtles and they sit on shelves everywhere, you know, they put out so many, everybody gets what they want, and then they sit on shelves for the next 6 months, and we continue walking in and, man, these ain't even selling. Well, the hype dies. Well, then the wave 2 comes out, and you got a lot of people that are like, well, I don't want to buy a figure that I'm going to pay $50 for today, but I can get the last wave on eBay for half the price. You know, so could they? I don't know. I'm not going to say that would be a bad marketing tactic, you know. I don't know.
I don't doing that, but I mean, it's still either way, it's still paying no matter what. I would prefer for these big companies to just stop all their store exclusives. You know, maybe I mean, you know, still keep their partnerships up and sending their figures there, but just to have an exclusive, I just don't see the necessity of it. It's just a pain for collectors to have to go get. I mean, besides the toy hunt aspect, that's cool, but in fact, you can't really even, you know, if you go to say 8 different stores and you don't find a figure, then it's not even worth the toy hunt aspect of it.
Wasn't much of an exclusive then, was it?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that also is affected by the fact that when they do these licenses, they're limited on how many they can even produce from the beginning as well, and the distribution chain is now affected. So I'm sure it gets way more complicated than we imagine. Because at the same time, most companies, if they can make money, if they can put enough out to still really make money, they want to put more of them out there. So I wonder if it's just that hard balancing act of whatever the requirements are for them to have these licenses to do some certain figures that are licensed to multiple different people at times, you know. So it's complicated, but I guess at the same time, we still need to be happy we can at least get some of these things to it, that they're even still doing some of these characters that at one point we might have looked at and said, oh, this probably is going to die out, you know, but it's still here in 2020, you know what I mean? So I guess there's the joy of all sides of it to some degree. And it still leaves something for you desired that, you know, if you don't get that grail piece later in life, you might come back across it and oh man, I can now get this or whatever, you know. So I guess there's a lot of ways to look at it, but I'm a guy who doesn't mind the pre-order side, and I never thought about it like you just described it, Phil, like the difference in the joy of finding it in the store compared to it coming to your house. And because for me, I'm just like, oh, it'll be here tomorrow, cool, or it'll be here Friday, cool, and I'm kind of hyped whenever a box shows up with something in it. But if I could just walk in certain places and see it there and not have to go through that whole waiting process, of course, you know, I understand that joy of that side too. So yeah, I get it.
All right, so I think that's a solid way to wrap up this topic for us tonight on the pre-order versus the toy hunt. So for you guys watching, comment below. We want to hear your thoughts on pre-hunt versus pre-order versus toy hunt. What do you think? What are your guys' thoughts? Do you pre-order everything? Do you insist on just picking up that figure in the toy hunt? Put your comments below. We'd love to interact with you guys and hear your thoughts and comments on it. So the last topic for us tonight is we want to talk about the most anticipated MCU studios items to come. So these will be like your Phase 4 movies for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll go ahead. We'll put up a little slide for us. It kind of shows us kind of what's expected, what's coming from Marvel over the coming I guess, months and years for Phase 4. So, Wally, go ahead and kick it off here. Let's hear your thoughts on what you see on the screen here as far as what's coming out. What's most anticipated for you?
In no particular order, Black Panther 2 for obvious reasons, Blade, Shang-Chi, and Moon Knight. Those are the ones that personally I'm really excited and just curious to see where they're going with them. With Moon Knight, I've always had a weird balance of certain elements of his background story, but I've always liked the design of the character. So I'm just really curious to see how they're gonna pull him. I think he's gonna be TV show first, right, and then move into film later, possibly.
I think it's just gonna be TV.
So he won't transition. I thought the plan was for all the main TV shows to eventually transition over to film in some way too. No.
The characters will end up being Indian, like actually in movies, but no, they're not gonna like Moon Knight's not gonna have its own movie. Like
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like he'll show up on the big screen at some
Right.
point after.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Like maybe in Blade or something. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are mine. Black Panther 2, Blade, Shang-Chi, and Moon Knight.
Do they have they announced who's playing Moon Knight yet?
No.
No.
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. All right, Zach, what you think?
I agree with Wally. Moon Knight's definitely the biggest one for me. I definitely am looking forward to the darker side of the Marvel Universe. With Blade as well, like I can't wait for that stuff. There's rumors that Werewolf by Night showing up in Moon Knight, and just other characters. I mean, Ghost Rider might show up in Doctor Strange. Elsa Bloodstone is rumored to appear somewhere. So I'm excited to see some more of the darker side, and yeah, can't wait for that. I think the Moon Knight will just be an overall great show. But that's the big thing for me, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for everything, but looking forward to more of the later movies in Phase 4.
Gotcha.
Hey, Zach, is it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Doctor Strange supposed to and WandaVision supposed to help bring the darker stuff to us, sort of?
That's great.
And they're saying with Moon Knight, that's almost going to be kind of more like a horror style TV series, right? It's going to lean more on the horror side.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be probably elements of it. I definitely know Doctor Strange is supposed to be probably the first more horror aspect. It's still going to be PG-13, but as horror as they can sort of get with the PG-13 rating.
Right. Because we got to remember this is still Disney, so they're not going to go but so far with their name branded to it.
Sure.
Right.
I see here that Moon Knight has been given a production date of November 16th and is expected to continue production over the next 26 weeks. It says, but obviously due to the virus, Marvel could, shift that around. So, production November 16th and then 26 weeks of production. So that's, where's that going to put us? What, early summer maybe of next year? Is that
yeah, maybe. Can I ask too, Zach? For you personally, would you rather see Moon Knight on Netflix with complete freedom or on Disney Plus?
I mean, I think it'll be fine on Disney Plus. Sure, I know Moon Knight can be a little bit more violent, but I'm fine with it on Disney Plus. I think it's a good fit. I don't think that the MCU needs to go more R-rated. Just because I feel like everyone, like kids and everything, should be able to watch all the MCU properties sort of coming out there and able to do that. So I'm good with the PG-13 rating. I don't have an issue with that. But yeah, I think just Disney Plus needs some more properties out there.
Solid material that we can hold on to.
Exactly.
Right.
Daniel, what's your
So it's really funny that my son likes to go to the dark aspect, but I'm going to go to the light aspect because I like the funnier movies. So I'm going with the Thor: Love and Thunder and the Guardians of the Galaxy because those are hilarious movies.
Yeah.
And then for the Disney Plus stuff, I'm really interested in the WandaVision just because they're going to be touching base on so many different time periods and kind of touch base on a bunch of our old television show type aspects. So I think that'd be kind of interesting to see how they jump through all that and jump into the her having her kids with Vision and whatnot. So
yeah, that's another exciting thing is the Young Avengers. They're sort of setting that up. So can't wait to see some Young Avengers. I know they're set. I mean, yeah, like I said, Wiccan and Speed should be in WandaVision. Kate Bishop's in Hawkeye. Trying to think who else they're setting up.
stature you have or whatever you want to call it. And,
yeah, I think it might be finger, but still, yeah. And Ant-Man. Speaking of, yeah, Ant-Man 3 is another a movie that's coming out in Phase 5. But yeah, I can't wait for that either.
Daniel, Zach, do y'all think that they're gonna slide some mutant talk in there with WandaVision?
I definitely think we're going to see mutants very soon, probably a lot sooner than we think. I've heard rumors like even as soon as Black Widow, so who knows? But it's, I don't know. Probably more subtle to start with, maybe some lesser known mutants, but I'm excited to see what they got.
Same here. Same here.
I don't know. I kind of wish they just throw them at us instead of sneaking them in.
Give it all to me right here. So I'm with Daniel. I kind of like the lighthearted comedy that Marvel does. So the Thor: Love and Thunder, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I will definitely be very excited to see those. Obviously, Venom 2, being that he is one of my top 3 characters of all time in any aspect of the comic book world. But kind of to mention one you guys haven't really brought up is the what ifs. I love the what if comic book storylines. I think it's so cool. What if Wolverine would have killed the Hulk? Those type of storylines that they've done in the comic books. So I'm really, really excited to see where the what if is going. And I know that's kind of outside the realm of the true MCU, but I just think those storylines are cool. It's always cool to ponder, what if this would have happened.
Well, Zach and I were talking the other day about the fact that, that should have been one during this pandemic that they should have been really pushing production on to get those out to us as soon as they could.
That's right. Because those are going to be done those are animation, right?
Animation, yep.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked that they didn't push those faster because of the fact that it was animation, and they could have, that could have been worked on remotely better than anything else.
Right. Yeah, you would think that would be, being that we haven't gotten it, you would think that would be just around the corner. Of anything listed on this page here, you would think that would be the easiest and first thing we would see, on a TV set. But what other comments do you got on these? I mean, are there anything? What do y'all? The Shang-Chi, I know Wally brought that up. Is Shang-Chi? Does that name have enough to be a successful character on his own?
I think it's a one and done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it probably should be a one and done thing too. It's I think what they're trying to do is more of like a Mortal Kombat type of movie. So it'll be interesting to see. I haven't honestly heard that much about Shang-Chi, so but who knows? I mean, they were able to make Ant-Man pretty big, and
no pun intended.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's something.
However, Ant-Man was still a much bigger name
right.
when you compare him to Shang-Chi,
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're really being honest, like Guardians, Black Panther, like they really had a smaller fall. I think Marvel's power is in the fact that they know how to market things and
it's true.
And turn it into something, But I think, like Zach was saying, from my understanding, this movie is supposed to have a Mortal Kombat, Bruce Lee, Game of Death feel to it. So I think that this is their super hand-to-hand combat movie that they haven't done yet, and they're probably hoping to catch that audience in a different way. And they're also looking at overseas market as well. You know what I'm saying?
True. That's true.
That's what they're really targeting with this. So
this is a modern day kung fu movie. I mean,
right.
that may literally be what it is, and that there is a huge niche for the kung fu genre. Go to any flea market, You know, I mean, there's kung fu movies flying off the shelves everywhere at the flea market. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Well, and like you said, Wally, I mean, this is China's market too, and China is the biggest movie market that we have. So
Right.
it may be, it may be one of our biggest franchises. Who knows?
yeah,
And I think too, like it's a chance to, because Iron Fist was supposed to have been that martial arts feel, and it just wasn't. And this will be a chance to make up for that in some ways. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. And I don't know that everybody will walk away being diehard Shang-Chi fans, but I think if you're in that world and you enjoy that world, and those are the type of movies you gravitate towards or grew up on, then it'll be well done enough for it to catch a fan base and hopefully turn in, whether or not they'll do 2 or 3 Shang-Chi movies, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll see him pop up again somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
yeah.
Hey, I want to kind of spin off into another subject. They were talking about Mulan and the fact that they're going to be trying to throw that on Disney Plus. Zach, what's the price?
I think it's 30.
Yeah,
$30 just to get some kind of an unlock code or something for your exclusive
Like a premium tab.
or something like that. What do y'all think about that price?
what is? I have no clue what this is talking about. You have to do.
So the larger movies that were not able to go to the theater, they're wanting to put it straight to the streaming service now.
Oh, okay.
So, like for you, I think you're already paying for Disney Plus right now, aren't you?
I pay like $6.99 or whatever it is. Yeah.
So they're wanting to up the price on for you $30 so that you have a unlock and be able to get to this premium content and for this first example, it's going to be Mulan.
Now, is that $30 a month or a one-time?
No. My understanding is you pay the $30 and you get access to that movie for as long as you have your Disney Plus subscription.
I see. Okay.
And that's my only issue with it. If I'm paying $30, just give me the movie, period.
Right.
Exactly.
Like give me a download code.
Yeah, don't tell me I got to keep your service if I change my mind at some point. Which we're locked in to the end of the year because we did the 1 year thing with them. But let's say I don't want to renew it for a whole year next year. Like I shouldn't have to pay you $30 for a movie. Like I get both sides of the argument. Some people are saying they spend more than $30 going to the movie to see something for the first time, so they're fine with spending $30. And from that standpoint, I got 4 people in my house, so if we were going to see Mulan in theaters, it wouldn't be a bad thing to pay $30 to see it at home. But on the flip side, if I don't keep the service, then I lose that movie. So would I invest in future movies that way with you? I'm not really sure because I don't know that, we all assume as things get hyper and more things are coming out on Disney Plus, we're going to keep it. But what if we don't? You know what I mean? So we've bought all these movies that we don't have access to anymore. That's my only discrepancy with that method.
Yeah.
I would think most people would want to, in that case, because really when you pay for a movie ticket, you're paying for the experience, right?
Right.
Go to the movie theater, buy the popcorn, sit there with your family. You're watching it on a screen that's bigger than your house. That's the experience that you're buying. If you're just going to watch it at home, why not wait 6 more months, pay $20, and you own the movie for the rest of your life?
But I don't even think it's 6 months later now. I think it's only
True.
a month later now with the way they want to do these things.
That's true.
Right.
As quick as they put them in and out of the theaters, you're right. It's probably 3 or 4 months, even on big movies. Heck, Avengers movies, they're in there for 2 months, and 3 or 4 months later, you're getting a DVD, or at least the digital download.
And if you're not a huge fan of seeing it early, you wait a little bit longer, and it's going to hit Disney Plus or something at some point for free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Netflix, Disney Plus. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm hoping the price for future movies aren't all $30 because I know Mulan was like the biggest budget movie from Disney this whole year, like bigger than Black Widow and
Wow.
others. Yeah, it was their big movie. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure New Mutants is coming to Disney Plus next month too. If I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Is it just coming to Disney Plus, or are you going to have to buy a ticket to it as well?
I haven't heard anything about that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about if it was going to be a price or they just was giving it. I'm not sure. Because that was a Fox movie technically.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's almost 5 years old now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's been around a while. We'll follow up on that one on the next podcast. We'll get an answer and figure out, is that going to be just stream to the service, or are you going to have to buy a ticket for it on the service?
I got one more side question. Do you guys consider Morbius and Venom and the other Sony stuff to be true Marvel stuff, or do you just kind of see it as its own thing that kind of plays well with Marvel right now?
Well, I threw those pictures in there just because I knew they were coming, and we said Marvel, but we did say MCU, so technically they're not on this list. But I just wanted to make sure that we had them on there because we were talking Marvel. But no, I do not consider them part of it.
I mean, definitely Spider-Man. But yeah, as far as that goes, I don't think. I mean, Sony doesn't have nearly the quality as Disney does. So, I enjoy Venom a lot, but I just don't think it's really MCU worthy. But I don't know. Maybe they're moving more that direction.
For me personally, obviously it's not part of the continuity, so I don't look at it as any part of it. But I'm holding out hope that they will join the continuity. And
yeah, I agree.
And like Venom 1, maybe Morbius at some point becomes canon for the MCU. I definitely feel like Venom is like on the verge of ending up in the same deal like Spider-Man is. Where
Right.
he gets to cross over into the Disney movies. I really believe if this movie does well, I think Disney's going to want that. They're going to want that hard, and Disney's got the pockets to make it happen. So if it does really well, I think eventually they can become canon. But yeah, right now I don't view them as any part of the MCU, to be honest.
No, me neither.
The main reason I asked was just to get thoughts on it, and because I don't know if you guys remember, was that you probably weren't even born when this came out. The original Blade had a cut with Morbius in it, and it never made the theaters.
I did not know that, Wally.
I didn't either.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. It's like a deleted scene where Blade is on the building with the young lady he was saving or whatever, and she like points across to another building, and there's a character standing there draped like Morbius. Supposedly being Morbius's character, he looks at him and makes like a slick comment, and then it goes off.
Huh.
Yeah.
So maybe they had that storyline back then and wanted to use it.
It's supposed to have been a crossover point for him way back then. So I'm just curious if they're going to still try to figure the same thing out as we move forward with what's going on now.
Well, the sad thing is I don't think Sony has a platform for any of their movies to be able to be streamed anywhere right now. I don't think.
True.
Not yet, but why not jump in? Everybody else has a streaming platform right now.
I have heard the rumors that Sony might try to put some of their movies on Disney Plus, or at least have some like original content on there. Heard a rumor about like a $29.99 Spider-Man TV show or something.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe Black Cat, Silver Sable. Like those might, I don't know, have a Disney Plus show.
That would make sense, especially, either Disney Plus or Hulu, because Disney owns almost all, if not all of Hulu, 90-some% of Hulu now. So either one would make sense, but especially Disney Plus, it would make a lot of sense for them to go ahead and partner up with them all the way.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps up our last discussion topic tonight. I think we had some good topics. I think these are all very relevant topics for the time. So to our listeners and our subscribers, comment below on anything that we talked about tonight. We would all love to interact with you and have that open line of communication. And hopefully one day we can get to doing some live streams with you guys and being able to interact real time. I think that would be a cool goal for us to try to do. Zach, last comments?
I appreciate talking to you guys as always, and appreciate all of our subscribers as well.
Cool. Check out Zach's channel. He's going to have a lot of reviews coming through. He's got G.I. Joes. He's got some DC Multiverse stuff. Hopefully you can wrap up your Strong Guy Build-A-Figure wave sometime soon. And,
yeah.
Get those last couple of figures. What are you missing? What are you needing here?
Warpath, Sunspot, and the Pirate Deadpool.
So probably two of the hardest is the Warpath and Sunspot. I would say those are probably going to be two of the hottest figures. from that line. Wally, last words?
Oh man, Phil, I have no last words. I always have beginning words, and those are hello and good night.
There you go. Daniel, what you got, man?
All right, just keep on checking out the channels. Man Cave Collectibles is growing like crazy, so let's get over there and check him out if you hadn't already, and check our channels out as well.
Cool. Yeah, building on that, thank you guys. Just hit 500 subscribers, so I want to thank all of my subscribers for your support. I want to thank all three of these guys right here for their support as my channel has been growing, and you know, hopefully we'll keep growing. I want to get up there, and you know, the next big milestone will be the big 1K. So
shout out to Ross, who couldn't make it tonight because you guys were on the hunt.
That's true. Our buddy Ross, who is Custom Comics, will throw his channel will be linked in the description below. Me and him actually went toy hunting today, and he lives about an hour and a half from me. So in order to make his drive home, he had to miss the podcast. So check out his channel as well. He's a growing channel. Definitely could use the support. And I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. I hope everybody has a good evening. What's up, guys? Welcome to C3-T, Carolina Connection. What the heck is it? It's a good thing we can edit this stuff, because what is it? Carolina
Collectors Connection.
Carolina Collectors Connection. We should have really thought about this name when we figured, well, okay, we got to be saying this name, okay?